So take me up, take me up from school. Matter of fact, let's start when you were a teenager. Let's start when you were a teenager and take me along your career path, from high school, and then how'd you end up getting into, the insurance space?
Got it. So we're going to go all the way back here.
Okay.
And there's a little story that comes with it because I live here in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
And there was a man here by the name of Mr. Leroy Boyd who owned a outreach. I don't know what you call it, but his name of his business was called Movement for Change. And what he did, he was an activist. He worked on cases and things like that that happened to people in the community. Like if you got hurt on a bus or something like that. So for my story, my great uncle was killed in our jail here. And he worked on that case. As a matter of fact, he worked on a lot of cases here similar to that in my city. And my grandmother said to my mom, you need to put Jamil up there in the office with him. That was her way of getting what she wanted because you didn't pay him for these things. This is what he did. But she knew you put a family member, you put someone working with him in there, that'll make him focus more on our case.
Right, got you.
So my summer, instead of me playing around like most people do, I had to work at the office with Mr. Leroy. I had never had a job before then. I was probably like 13 or 14 years old at the time. So I worked with him in his office on his case. So I started developing my admin and clerical skills just working in the office with him at that time, right? By the time I became 16, where I was able to legally get a job, my first job was a fast food job, pretty much like how most teenagers. I worked at Whataburger here in Pensacola, Florida.
Whataburger?
Whataburger, yes. It's crazy because on some, depending upon where you're from, you probably never heard of them before.
Now there's okay, so I'm in Richmond or Chesterfield, Virginia, and there's a place called Whataburger that's been around since I was in college. I mean, it's just like one location. I think it's probably the only location in the state.
Is it orange and white?
I can't remember what color it is.
Oh, you'll know if it's them because they have.
I know it's them. Okay.
They have an orange and white cup.
Orange. Okay. All right.
Yeah. In some states don't have, but which is weird, but they all over the place. But I worked there for 1 year, my very first job, legally, legal job at 16. And I worked there 1 year. By the time it was time for me to leave, because I have a story about that too, because I know a lot of people say that they don't like their kids working fast food. I learned a lot working at fast food because you work the hardest that you ever gonna work for the smallest amount of money that you probably ever going to accept, ever, as an adult. You work very hard. You learn how to manage, and everything is about time. You don't have time to drag and think about what you're going to do. So you're pretty much learning how to work with clients, how to be disciplined, working on the time frame, and working in a group setting as well. Again, no, it's not the dream job, but looking back, having that job always pushed me and made me grateful for the next job that came along. Because I was like, this is way easier than working at Whataburger, and I wasn't getting paid nothing. When I was working there. Yeah. So after leaving that, I immediately transitioned into the cleaning field, the custodial field. And I did that pretty much all the way up until I came into the insurance industry. At the age of 21, I started my very own cleaning business. And I ran that business for a while, anywhere from like 3 to 5 years. I had contracts with the airport here, UPS stores, the O'Reillys, condos. I started off with the condos and things like that. I did that for the longest, running my own cleaning business. And I was 21 years old I was 20 years old when I started my own cleaning business. And I did that for some years, all the way up until I was offered a position to work for the county here. That's the Escambia County. I live in Escambia County. And I was offered the job to become the custodial supervisor. And it was way more easier than what I was doing, because I was going from having to run a business. And it's not easy running a cleaning business, because anyone just able to start a cleaning business here. And, you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, clients not thinking about the quality. They're thinking about what can we get for the cheapest amount of, the cheapest amount of service. So it's always something with the bids all the time, right? So I ended up taking a position working for the county as a custodial supervisor, where I just supervised. And I think I was the youngest African-American to ever be hired as a manager for the Escambia County, because I came through as a manager. And I was the boss of people that was all that graduated high school with my mom.
All right.
I'm 20, I'm 20 something, and I'm the supervisor of these women that's 57, 60, some of these men 65. Yeah. But I did that all the way up until I came into the insurance industry. Yeah. But when I was 18 years old, I was always tricked into this meeting. This is what I had to tell you. I was always tricked into these meetings. This is the way they used to try to recruit people for insurance back then. They'll make it seem like you coming for a customer service interview or something like that. Then you get there and it's about life insurance. I used to walk out. I've been in 3 meetings that I thought I was there to interview for, a customer service representative. Now I think back what I would have been. Now I think back, like, what if I would have took the job? What if I would have got the license? But every time I walked out, I'm like, I'm so tired of these people lying to get us here for these job interviews.
Because I know the interviews that you're talking about.
It was crazy. I've been in 3 of them. You thinking that you're going there for an exclusive interview, and it's 30 of y'all. It's 30 to 40 individuals in there. We're like, this a group? What's going on?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I always think back, like, wow, if I would have came in the insurance industry at 18, no matter, ain't no telling what I would have been, but who knows? I probably wasn't ready at that time, at the mindset, because, of course, how I was raised, we was always told never to get a commission job. I feel differently about that now, but the way that I was raised, they used to tell us, if they talking about commission, you need to walk out. And unfortunately, your surroundings, what you learn, what they teach you, is a lot of times the way that you go. So anytime a commission job came my way, I exit stage left. And when you're talking about the insurance industry, that was one of the main things that you was also raised and taught not to open the door for, was the insurance man. If he came knocking on the door or whatever the situation was, nothing was sexy about the insurance industry. It is nothing about this industry at all. You could have never told me that this would be the industry that I would end up coming in, because just based upon what I told you, everything would be looking the total opposite as far as me coming into the insurance industry.
Yeah, man, that is, your words are prolific, because the what you're saying are not only thoughts that I had, when I was younger, particularly with commissions. Now, I come from a family where, both of my parents, ran businesses. So obviously, if they didn't have business, there was nothing, coming in, particularly my father. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was told, hey, look, if this is 100% commission, you got to be careful, yes. Not realizing that the person who is always at the top of the economic food chain is someone who is on commission. That commission-based sales jobs are the highest paid occupations on the planet,
Yes.
Not realizing that, that the CEO of the company is really commissioned, that if you're working for a company, you're really on a commission. It's just, they've just designated however much they're going to give you for that. But you found something where you had the opportunity to basically determine your own value. And that's really what commission really is. You get to determine your own value. There's no cap, no ceiling on that. I think that's phenomenal, man. So tell me, so you went to 3 interviews. each time you just, hey, I'm out the door because I'm thinking this is customer service.
Yeah.
The fourth, was it the fourth one that you said, hey, let me go ahead and give it a shot? I mean, what happened?
No, oh no, these interviews was when I was 18.
Oh, okay. So now we're going back after you've already built a business. I'm sure that taught you some lessons as well about commissions. And, now you're looking at, when you see it again, you're like, oh, okay, I see how this makes sense now with my new entrepreneurial mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So the cleaning business was different because even though we're talking about commissions, I also had that sense of security with the cleaning business because I was able to get those contracts.
Right. So you knew it was coming in.
Yeah. So I knew it was coming in. So I can't compare it and make it seem like it's like commission because I knew that it was coming in because I've got a contract here that says you paying me $1,200 a month, you paying me $1,500 a month. So it was different. And then I made sure I had my little stipulations in there. You just couldn't cancel on me. If you did, I had to have a month in advance. Or if you tried to break that, you would have to pay me for a month. So I made sure that I had my.
But you had to win those contracts, though.
Oh yeah. I had to win those contracts, or most of the ones I negotiated, though. A majority of the ones I negotiated because I was big with marketing myself.
Yes.
In the community. So the way that I got a lot of the contracts was either through the ones that I put myself out and they called me. I really never got a chance to participate in the community or the county. None of those
RFP process. You didn't have to do that at all. They were just gonna reach out. Perfect. So how did the insurance finally? How did it come back around and get you in the mix?
Actually, back in 2018, just being on, okay, so years of me being in the cleaning industry and me knowing the goals and the way that I want to see my life and the type of money that I wanted to make, I was ready to make more money, without having to do all of this work. I was doing a lot of work, even when I was supervisor, because I just always been pretty much like a workaholic. Even when I worked at the county as a supervisor, when I got off, I went to clean buildings. I had 4 or 5 buildings that I would go clean when I got off work. So I was like, I'm ready to make either what I'm making now more with less work. How am I going to do this? Not less work, less strenuous work on my body, because that was very taxing.
Right.
I like a lot of, like, you talking about 80 some hours weekly of just, paving it all the time. And I said, I know that my greatness is outside of my comfort zone. So I started preparing myself like, okay, I'm probably going to have to enter in something that I don't want to do. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see. Then I started seeing these advertisements about coming into the life insurance industry. I'm like, no way. I'm not doing that. I'm like, well, maybe real estate. I love real estate, but I never had the desire to enter real estate as a business. I like real estate looking at it. So I seen some advertisement for life insurance. I was like, well, let me just check this video out. I checked the video out, and what was displayed through the business overview, I was like, well, who knows? I may be in my own way. My thinking and my unwillingness may be what's holding me in this situation. I know me. I know when I commit to something, I give it 1,000%. I said, maybe if I join the life insurance industry and I don't give up on myself, I don't make no room for excuses, and I really go in this and try to learn this industry, let's give it a shot. Yeah. But I didn't have the attitude like, let's give it a shot. I had the attitude like, this is what's going to change my life. If it happened for these people, it can happen for me. And I'm not even going to have that thought in my mind like, it's not going to work out. I'm going to try 30 days. I was like, no, this is a new career I'm going into. I gave myself a certain amount of time to be able to be done with all of them jobs. And it's been on ever since then.